What made you realize they were not your friends? She put me in extremely dangerous situations knowing I was uncomfortable. For the sake of men. Anything she did was for men and only for them. If a man was interested in me, she had to have him. She would also make fun of me or tell them my personal secrets so they would find me less desirable. She pushed a lot of boundaries and didn't realize the last time she did would be the final time she was able to do this to me. I'm not sure why I stuck around as much as I did. I breathe better without her, and it's been 4 years now since I ended our friendship, and I'm thriving. Of note where I don't own or possess guns, and I am a vegan who is ideologically opposed to the NRA. Even going so far as to false report me, and then commit perjuries against me in a combined circuit court. The scary thing is, they work for the US Naval Intelligence Office. Their dad was also a US clearance worker. It's interesting watching a political system destroy itself with madness. My boyfriend's friends. I had known them for almost a year and had grown to like them. I do not have a lot of my own friends. In a moment of weakness, I once told them some things about our relationship. The girls I disclosed to promptly told their husbands, who told my boyfriend about it. Luckily, I had already told him about the episode. Not trusting them again no matter how much they tell me that they are fond of me, and I can talk to them if I need to. Now I just bear them because they are old friends of my boyfriend's. Our initial camaraderie waned over time as my friend's interest in my life dwindled. Despite our shared past, she became critical of my choices and actions. Odd behaviors arose during social gatherings, like boasting about others' successes while disregarding mine. Our bond strained further when I expressed my reservations, leading to a confrontation where unresolved issues surfaced. Eventually, her blame-shifting narrative corroded our friendship, leaving me questioning the truth she presented. When I found out a friend was having a birthday party and they didn't invite me, until later when everyone was already at the party and said, "Where's me?" I was a second-hand invite, never intended to be invited to that party to begin with. No longer speak to that person. They were fake and pretended to be my friend face to face, but behind my back bitched about me, and I was just nice this whole time. Don't try to impress everyone because some people just don't like you for no apparent reason. Tried to force me into vaping was my first red flag. But we're teenagers, so it's not as crazy. And came and told me they were saying stuff about me behind my back, stuff I thought I could trust them to keep secret. That's when I decided to stop talking to them and their friend group by expansion. They were the same person who told me not to talk to my now best friend Lmao. I only spoke to them to spite my ex-friend. Told my one friend I was going to rehab for my drinking. Immediately erased me from Facebook and PlayStation friends list, and wouldn't take my call. Mutual friends were also gone from friends list soon after, so he likely told everyone where I was and whatever. 5 years sober, and no real friends would have tried to support that change rather than look down on me for trying to get better and get my life back on track. When he got wasted at my brother's funeral and had sex with my cousin in my uncle's car, he refused to get out of the vehicle despite us banging on the door telling them their family was gonna miss their flight back home. He never apologized to me. He texted me a week later saying, "I don't know what to do. I really liked that girl." My mum was very hurt. Very disrespectful to do that at a funeral. I'm a convicted felon, and my friend, who has a registered handgun, refused to move it to a different location inside her vehicle, so that if we got pulled over I wouldn't get in trouble. Gun was in between the console and the passenger seat. I asked her to move it to her side and she simply refused and went as far as to say, "What are you on? Are you high or something? Why do you care? Need to talk to you." And to avoid the presence of some other guy, that they spend the entire lunch and ignoring you and talking to each other about the guy who they're supposedly not trying to talk about. Wow. Okay. Thanks. I guess I know where I sit in this friend group then. Bye. Haven't gone back since, and that was nearly a month ago. They were so uncool. One day they were making fun of autistic people, and that's when it hit me. I don't like these people. I personally don't really judge. We even fight unless provoked, so seeing them just be so mean for no reason hit me hard. Especially with them making fun of sexualities, mental disorders, and just a bunch of stuff. They weren't really mature enough for me. I like to pay for my friends when we eat or drink together, and my other friends do the same. It is a healthy and fair relationship. But one of the girls never did the same to us when we were friends. And she even asked me to pay when it was her turn. And even when she was the one invited us. So I stopped inviting her, and soon other friends do the same. One best friend gave my high school classmate who pretended to be a stalker and didn't fess up until I told her the principal said to call the police. The other best friend took her side and said I deserved it. There was no lead-up argument or anything. Second BF shot herself in the foot because I was always a better friend to her than the first. When they would openly plan things in front of me without inviting me, NG things outside of school together, and yeah, they were all friends long before I got there. But they made very little effort to try involving me further in the group, so after a while I lost interest. Back when I was in college, I used to hang out with a group of people on Steam, and we played Left 4 Dead together. Things started to change, and when I tried to reach out, they didn't respond. They might consider me just their gaming mates, and after that, I was alone. Constant trauma dumping on me and talking over me, never listening to what I had to say. Then got in my face and started projecting the issues onto me, making me the bad guy when I had bent over backwards, giving them chance after chance to be a better friend to me. H for that, and start obsessing over everything you're doing. It's not healthy, and it gets a lot worse. Anyone who's going through it, cut them off, block them on everything, cause it gets dangerous and they start to envy you. Dead bound for 2 months. I found out exactly who my friends were. The acquaintance who only called me after 6 weeks to see if I am now in a cast and can walk to see a movie hasn't been seen since. Talked shit about me quite literally behind my back. Me and my friend group were walking. I was far ahead while she was tailing behind. She said some not very nice things about me to my other friends and didn't even bother being quiet about it. About the 9th year, my friend's annual trip to the coast. I lived en route to said coast. Never once stopped for a visit or attempted to meet up while passing through. Why it took me 9 years to accept it is the better question. Went to reconnect with a guy I had been close with in the past. He's out here dropping ethnic slurs about his wife's culture, and I'm out here now dropping him like a bad college class. Got no time for that. A friend attempted to assault me after an argument in front of my young children. I never wanted my kids to see me defend myself. The poor little things were terrified of me for a while after that, when they, including my GF, left me alone in their house during my 20th birthday party for 4 hours to go to a cat adoption center. I took my cake and left. Broke up with the GF a week later. Pissed me off. My friend backstabbed me and took the love of my life away from me because of a dumb thing I did in 2020, and they were making fun of me and all sorts of BS. Hate them for. When he would constantly accuse me of sleeping with his ex and give me the silent treatment. We've been best friends long enough to where you should know I wouldn't do that, asshole. When you found out that they talk shit about you behind your back, especially when you thought that this friend was someone you trusted about very personal stuff, had a friend group, realized they had a separate group chat, switched schools, everyone left the group chat I was in. Only 2 of the 8 reached out, months after. One friend attacked me at work. Others avoid and ignore me like the plague. They're still friends though, because I'd never turn my back on a friend. I felt insecure about myself only when I was with them, never with anyone else. 2 years they had picked on my features, yet no one else ever had. When he started having sex with my wife, that's okay. She left me, and then he broke up with her a couple months later. It's pretty hilarious. They gossip me when I'm not around. They remove me on a group chat without reason. And I can feel they're fake when I'm around with them. As soon as my first marriage ended, lots of mutual friends disappeared. They made their choice. Fuck, and they weren't real friends. That I was the only one who ever texted first. I decided I wasn't going to text her for a month to see if she'd text me. She never did. When they moved 10 hours away and came back to the area twice that year without a word. Drove within 10 minutes of my house for times when we were partying only together and nothing else. And then Kay borrowed her money, and she made trouble giving it back. Tears. When they stood me up for 2 concerts because they didn't feel like paying for it. I was told that days before the show, she dropped me after she knew that I'm not adding anything anymore to her, and my grades weren't higher than her anymore. Fuck my GEF in our shared house while I was doing morning shifts. Ironically, Toy Story was on when I found out when they decided to try and sleep with my ex in the next room over, and subsequently stole a bunch of my shit. He told me he had got between me and my ex and told her that she shouldn't date me because I was a bad person. When they needed help, I was there. When I needed help, they all disappeared because they were busy. When the person mentally still acted like a child and the relationship wouldn't evolve as we age, they always expected me to be happy for their success, or were never happy proud of my success. When you decide to let them be the one to reach out, and you never hear from them again. I made a decision to stop drinking, and he didn't want to hang out with sober me. I moved on to their street for years ago, and haven't heard from them since. When they took the mattress off the bed and made me sleep on the bars, threatened to call the cops on me if I didn't let them sulk in peace. I realized that they were not down for me like they said they were. Everything just went quiet. They're still my friends. My graduation party, when only the females showed up,